won a critical win on Saturday to keep themselves in the CSU Conference Championship race. Give us your final thought from that game, and then we'll open up to this week's game.
Yeah, I was very pleased. Our whole staff was with just the way we played for 4 quarters. Obviously wasn't perfect, but just the joy, the energy, the focus that we played with in all 3 phases. We contributed in all 3 phases. Thought our defense was outstanding, getting 4 turnovers. Special teams gave us some big boosts when we needed it. And then when we needed to finish drives, that was the challenge offensively, is to finish drives in the red zone. Our guys did a great job. And so our backs, we're against the wall. Their backs against the wall again this week, being an underdog, going on the road. But I loved how our guys competed. Now, the challenge that we have is can we play with that same standard consistently? That's been our biggest challenge all season, and we got to do it again.
Has there been a renewed sense of energy or an extra spark in terms of the preparation to this point?
I think anytime you win a big game and you're back in a race that you thought you're out of, I do believe that there is I don't use the word excitement. You should be excited every week. Obviously, we haven't been. That's why we've been up and down. But you should. I think the guys understand what's at stake, and so there's been a great focus the first couple of days. It's obviously a quick turnaround. So normally they get a day off in between. They didn't get that this time. So you play on Saturday, you come back in Sunday, and we had to treat Sunday almost like a Monday. So they didn't get maybe time to decompress as much. So we're working through that a little bit. And then being Thanksgiving, school's out. Our guys went and did a community service project on Monday. And so we've practiced in the afternoon, which we're normally in the mornings. So there's a little bit of change of that. So we're adjusting that. But the attitudes at practice and the focus at practice has been good.
Sam Houston is pretty good run defense. They're top of the conference USA. Does it benefit you to see a team like Jacksonville State play them in the week before? Is there things in the film that you can pick up from a game like that maybe help you in such a big contest?
I think anytime. Jacksonville State's really good at what they do. So they do some great stuff. So you can see how they try to defend them. Also, you see how good Sam Houston is. They're really good on defense. I think there's a reason why they lead the league. They are physical. They play hard. They're going to come and tackle you, and they don't miss a lot of tackles. And so I think you try to take something from every game that hey, does this fit what we do offensively, and how can we take advantage of it? But they don't give you a lot of opportunities. They're going to be where they're supposed to be. They don't mess up. They're really consistent. I think that's why they've been able to really have a tremendous year. They run the ball offensively. They do a good job there, but their defense is stout, and they deserve all those rankings. They're really good. So we'll hopefully have some good ideas, some fresh ideas for them. But we're going to have to play really well to be able to move the ball and score enough points.
How's Salter looked in practice, like as far as health wise?
Could be fine.
Yeah.
Could be fine. You gotta. I think anytime you get banged up a little bit, you take it gingerly, but could be fine.
You look at Sam Houston's defense compared to the first half of the season. There's averaging. They was holding people 23 points, but the second half they picked it up. Now they hold opponents 13 points per game.
I didn't realize that, but I appreciate you bringing that up. So that makes me feel even better about it. What they've done a fantastic job of is they don't let people sustain drives on them. You might be able to move the ball a little bit, but they don't give up a lot of big plays, and they make you keep snapping it. And typically when that happens, offenses mess up. And they've done a really good job of that, of keeping people out of the end zone and make them earn everything. Even last week, that's a 14-11 game in the third, fourth quarter, late and going to the fourth quarter. So they're very stout. And I think typically on most defenses, they might be really good in the box, might be really good in the secondary. They're pretty good all the way through. There's not necessarily a weak spot for them. And I think that's what separates them maybe from other defenses, is that they're good at every area, and they play really well off of each other. It's going to be a challenge for our guys up front. No doubt. Our guys up front, our tight ends, and everybody's spot, we're going to have to do probably the best blocking job for us to have a chance to, control the line of scrimmage like we hope to.
Their defense is obviously very good, but their offense seems to be much improved from last year. What have you seen from them on that side of the ball?
I think where they're so much better is they went more to quarterback run, so their quarterback who throws the ball well also, but they got a really nice running back, and then they complement it with the quarterback running quite a bit. And so, and what that means from a technical standpoint is they outnumber you. They might be spread out and you have 6 in the box. Well, they're going to block with 6 and the quarterback's free. So you have to try to change some schemes. And he's a very tough physical guy. Our challenge on defense, in my opinion, is we gotta hopefully try to make them one-dimensional and force them where they have to throw it more than they want to. That's hard to do, but that's, to me, is the challenge of it. And so we gotta make sure that we do that and not give up any big plays. Similar to how they play up, we need to make them earn that, and make them snap it. That'll be the challenge. To me, that's gonna be the difference in the game, is who eliminates those mistakes on offense.
Coach, interesting is, the season kind of been up and down, still great record so far. But I'm sure it's kind of great to know that you are in a position where you are now. At the beginning of the year, you always want to put yourself in a position to control your own fate. Just how big is that, knowing that, hey, we win, we're going to have a chance to defend our conference title?
Well, I think it's a huge shot of vitamin C for sure, because you're 8-2, but depending on who you talk to and who you're around, it makes you feel like you're 2-8. And no offense to anybody in this room, but sometimes there's that sense or that feeling, right? And for our guys to even though we've been just like a wave in the ocean up and down a lot, we're in a position where that if we can win Friday, we're heading for a Conference USA championship for the second year in a row, which is was the goal at the beginning of the season. And no matter how you get there, you get there. And so I know it's going to be hard to do that Friday. It's hard to win on the road, especially against a good team. But I think our team. I know our team is focused on knowing that, hey, if we can handle the business, we're back to where we thought we'd be the whole time.
How much has a healthy Juju Gray just changed what you can do offensively?
Well, it's been huge. He obviously got hurt very early in the first game, and so you missed him up until game, 7, I think, maybe game 7. And even then, you're trying to figure out, he hadn't practiced at all, so what's his role, what can he do, what he cannot do, and we've slowly over the last few weeks, figured out how we want to use him and where he's good at it, and I think that's where you've seen him impact the game again quite a bit from Middle Tennessee on. We didn't get him the ball versus UMass the way we should have, and so that's coach's fault. And we made a concerted effort to make sure he gets it in some different ways, and when he does, he makes a change, gives us a different dimension that we hadn't had all year, and I think obviously makes us more explosive. So when he's out there, he can take it to the house, and he's shown that. So that's been big for us.
Had those 2 straight losses, but now the team's responded with 3 straight wins. How pleased are you with the way they've responded to that adversity?
Very. I think that's been part of this journey. We went through some challenging times and we were winning, but a lot of times winning covers up your scars, so to speak. And we've had a lot of scars, and then the winning just sort of covered it up. And until you're on your knees, sometimes you don't realize the things you need to change. And part of that, our guys that were going through the journey of losing that and figuring out why and how and the things we needed to fix, that was part of that. And if we had to go through those, even though nobody wants to lose, you hate it. If you had to go through that to understand who you are and get to the point where you're at, then it's got to be worthwhile, right? It's like anything. And so I wish it was the other way. I wish we were just naturally like, hey, this is who we want to be, but it wasn't. But I'm very pleased with the result. Really all year long, even in the games that we didn't play well, we found a way to win. Easily we could be in here 2-8 or whatever it may be. That's true. Everybody at Smogus knows that. And so the resiliency of the team, I'm proud of that, proud of the character. But if we'll learn the lessons, not only on the field that we learn, but if we'll carry it with them, of, hey, who you are has got to show up no matter what the circumstances are in life, as a husband, as a father, no matter what circumstances you face. You got to be consistent. That's what people crave, and want consistency. And if that's what we figure out through this, then it's going to be beneficial.
Coach, what are some of your Thanksgiving traditions growing up? What were some of those? And then following up, get into coaching. What are some of those that you have developed with your teams during Thanksgiving?
You don't have a lot as a team because you're always, at Division II, unless you're in the playoffs, you're typically done. FCS, you're typically done unless you're in the playoffs. So playoff-wise, depending if it's a home game or away game, you get together with your team, have some Thanksgiving, and then they take off. And so growing up, you always had a football game. You always had, you ate like 3 times. You let leftover turkey sandwiches. You always watched the Cowboys. Back then, they were winning a decent amount. No offense, Jerry Jones. And you watch games, and then you'd come back and eat the leftover turkey sandwiches and all day long. And then it carried over into Friday. Black Friday meant nothing. It meant let's eat again. And so you just really went on a bender for about 4 days, and a good bender, not a bad bender. But just family. And being around that. And then you'd always go if you if you were, you in high school, if you weren't in the playoffs, you'd go watch one of the local high school games because it was the third round or the fourth round of the playoffs in Tennessee at that time frame. And so one time I got the experience practicing on Thanksgiving, the senior year in high school. So, you thought you was walking on cloud nine from that. So, but just being around family and grandparents all being there and vegetables from the farm or the garden, and reminiscing on just, at that point when you're young, you don't think about the things, you just live a life and you love it. Sometimes you wish you could go back to those times. And it's hard in college football nowadays because it's usually the last week of the season. Last 2 weeks we've been on the road. So most families, they go home, they go visit their own family. And so we're here a lot of the time by ourselves, right? A lot of the coaches, their families might go back where they're raised and all that. We're up here grinding through. And so you miss out on some of those traditions, and so we'll have a Thanksgiving meal tomorrow with the group there, as much as we can. And then tomorrow night, coaches will have different player groups over who's traveling the team. Just spend some time there, which is good. But that's sort of a downside of the college football piece is you don't have that traditional Thanksgiving that you might be used to. And especially if it's a away game, you don't have family coming up and then driving back, because it's a away game. Maybe one of these years we'll have a home game, and that'd be nice. One year when our open day was on Thanksgiving in college. That was the best one ever. And so you can practice and get her back, and so you miss it sometimes for sure.
Well, thank you, Coach.
Hey, Coach, what's your favorite side dish and favorite dessert for Thanksgiving?
Side dish is my mother's sweet potato casserole. No marshmallows, that runs it. Sweet potato casserole, brown sugar on top, my favorite. You can't see for about 20 minutes after you eat it, but it's worthwhile. Love that one. And fried okra would be my second one. Love that. And then favorite dessert, probably a pumpkin roll. Really like pumpkin rolls. I won't pass up any apple pie or pumpkin pie. Coconut pie won't pass that up either. Not a big chocolate person. I really like the pumpkin roll. In fact, I could eat a lot of it. So love it. Pecan or pecan, depending on how you say it. It's pretty good too.
Can't go wrong with sweet potato pie, Coach.
You can't either, but if you have sweet potato casserole, it's just as good.
Yes, sir. That's fine. All right, Coach.
Thank
you for your time.
Thanks, sir.
That's Joe and Jacob what their favorite.